Hi there and welcome back to Triplicate, and we are going to move on with the boat Speedo, which is currently a picture and some parts, and today we are going to try and make some light panels. Okay, the idea is we have these rectangular panels which light up using an LED, and the MPH in this case is written on the top or on the graphics for the front panel. So the LED's off, it'll all be dark and you won't see the writing. The LED's on, you will see the writing, and with a red, an illuminated red background. Easy. And these are around, I've done them not far off 3 centimetres by, yeah, just under 1 centimetre, but that's not set in stone yet. So to that effect I have an LED and a gash block of Perspex acrylic, and we are going to see what we can do. Firstly I'd like to show you this. I was hunting around for LEDs to use to practice with, to get it working, and one of these was one out of the drawer from goodness knows when and where, and one of these is one of the ones I bought from the Mean Green, and they're connected in series. They'll have 20 milliamps going through them, and woof, just look at the difference in brightness between the new one on the right and the old one on the left. I'll turn them down here so it tries not to. Awesome. And that's just with, come on, 20 milliamps going through them. So the super grotty dim one is going in the bin. Modern LEDs are much brighter. And actually, if I get our LED and shine it through the block of Perspex, it looks like we're about halfway there, and that's just on the roughness where it was sawn, this edge. So I think we are in with a chance of producing what we want to produce. So what I'm going to do is slice a piece off this to about that size and drill a hole in it so we can actually stick the LED in, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so here we are. Just looking at the screw, that looks pretty good on the screen. It looks better than it does in real life. So that face and that face are the top and bottom as supplied, so they're polished, and those two faces are sawn. And actually, if we look at the end there, can you see that? That's starting to look alright. So I might pick one face as the top, probably one of these already sawn ones, and polish all the others so the light's bouncing around inside, and see how we go with that. Again, I'm going to go downstairs and do that. You don't want to watch me fiddling around with sandpaper, do you? Okay, so, whoops, the LED keeps falling out. I have sanded the top and the bottom to the ends to 180 grit, pretty roughly, and we have a nice hole in for an LED, which is a little too large for the LED, but not to worry. So if we fire this up, well, that doesn't look too bad, does it, apart from the bit with the LED. But if we cover the bit where the LED is, that looks pretty even, and I've just put it with a marker on. some lettering just to see how it is. Okay, so we need to cover up the LED and stop it falling out, and we could probably do with putting something reflective around here to keep the light inside and only let it out the top. So let's have a look at that. Okay, wrap some silver foil around the LED, so now, yep, that is a pretty even amount of illumination round the actual business bit here. So we don't want the light escaping out the sides and the bottom, so should we wrap some foil around that and see what that does? So what happens if we try and use some reflector to hold some of the light in? So here we have silver foil. I do have some mirror spray paint which will probably do a better job. If we wrap this around here, it doesn't actually make much difference. However, and we think, however, if we look, it's because there's nothing coming out the sides, so there's no point putting it around the sides. The scratches at the bottom would sanding the wrong surface. But that end, that produces, there's a lot of light coming out there, but it's pretty rough. So if that was smoothed, would that work better with a reflector on it? We shall see. But what about the bottom? So here we have a piece of silver foil. Well, LED is a bit dodgy. Right in the way of that. Not sure, we're just getting more, light grey, white, the colour of the perspex. And if you turn it off, okay, if we do, we will block the sides in, whether with reflective stuff or just black. Okay, so you get, you see that, a good, reasonably good contrast. It looks pretty dark when it's not on, but if you put silver under there, it looks pretty light when it's not on. So I think the back is going to have to be black. So let us see if we can make that surface smooth, polished, so we can reflect, then put a bit of this on the end and reflect the light back, and see if that does us any good. Okay, I've sanded the end down to 320 grit sandpaper. Yeah, it's looking pretty shiny. You can get special perspex polish, or plastic polish, but I don't have any of that. What I have is Solval Auto Sol from I do not know how long ago. Metal polish. Used to get this for elderly Japanese motorcycles. The chrome would just go, and used to polish it up with this to try and keep it looking something like, but of course it's a abrasive polish, so it's taking the surface of the already thin chrome off. So in the long run it made stuff worse. An excuse for dry riding ratty old bikes back in the day. But anyway, we are going to try it on this here perspex with an old tea towel. There we go. Let's put a smidge on and give it some Maybe give it a bit more. Probably a bit more too much, never mind. Does know me anything. Right. Looks reasonably shiny to me. Let's see if we can stretch this out like that. Right, well I think that's going to be enough. It's only there. Looks, yeah, you can see the LED through it. Right, so I now need to clean that up. A white mat. Grab a bit of solvent as well. Okay, so has our polished end done us any good? Well, there we have a piece of reflective kitchen foil. Not sure it has. Also, for the price, I think, of an LED, we can just make it a bit longer and put an LED in both ends. Because LEDs are 10 a penny. I'm sure they are if you buy them by the million. So, the thing we're getting there, now this had the reflective stuff came off and I put tape on it, it's not as good, so I think it does need reflective, something reflective top and bottom by the LED, I think. Again, we'll have to try that. And it is a couple of days since I made the previous bits of this video, and I have this, which is diffuser, basically perspex with a frosted surface. The disadvantage is that it's only 5mm thick, so yes. However, I reckon I can just drill a round hole, 5mm hole, and then cut it. We will see what happens. I might cut a bit of this off and try this. What a dear, it's £5 something or other for the sheet. So onward and upward. Let us see if we can get better results with this. I might also cut it long enough. That's flickering now. Is that just a bad connection? Yeah, it's a bad connection. Stop it. This original LED, whichever one of these it is, seemed to have died on me or gone intermittent on me. None of the ones in the mean green did. Anyway, right, so a bit more sawing and yes, we'll see how that fares. So what I've done is I've just drilled a hole through and cut it rather crudely on the bandsaw, just to get the LED in, just to try it, and you can see it's not actually that good. I'll stick my finger over it. Doesn't look a lot better with anything reflective around there. It's sort of bright and then gets dim, and if I put one on the other end it would still be a lot brighter and very dim in the middle. Thinking that's odd. So I actually, because I cut it along, well it was machine cut along one side and I've cut it along the other, but both sides are polished up, and you can see, hopefully, if I take that, you can see that reflects off them, so they're quite well polished, like me, haha. And you look at the LED through them, it's diffused. That is actually quite good. Not good that way. So this stuff, I thought this would be just normal, stop it clear, perspex with the sides, I guess sandblasted or something, but it isn't. It is actually, this diffuser material is actually somehow frosted all the way through. Don't know how they do that. So anyway, yeah, we could do it like that. We could put some LEDs, like more than one LEDs and a row underneath. So let's just give that a try. Right. I think that's the right way around. So this is just out of the box 3 LEDs. And we need to, we'll wind the wick up, they're only little ones, so we'll put 10 milliamps through that. Something like that. You see those? They're not super bright, but yeah, just imagine we had like a row of nice little surface mount ones underneath going through this. Well, you can see the, let's get rid of that, the individual LEDs. So it'd need a lot. Could do it, but hang on, let's try without that on. Oh, that's even worse for being able to see the LEDs. And if you back the LEDs off, yeah, it's better, but they'd have to be away. I mean, this stuff is designed to have a very bright light to a distance behind it, and then just have a very even illumination. It's for film lights and whatever you, what it's made for. So I think we are going with plan A, and I have bought some 8mm by 8mm square perspex tube, and we are going to put one LED in at each end, and I think that'll work nicely. Right, I think that's it. I think we know where we're going, so I will make up some proper assemblies and we'll see what they look like. And while we're here, got sick of these absolutely terrible test leads I've been using, so bought some, there we go, expensive ones made by somebody called Clique, never heard of, but they do seem a lot better quality and they have nice clips that actually work without the sleeve stopping the thing closing and gripping your wire. So we'll see how they go, and supposedly rated 15 amps as well. And finally, I think I realised how I blew my LED up. Had it connected across the power supply and was using the power supply current limit to limit the current. With the voltage set to 5 volts, of course, the second I connected, well, I suspect there's quite a hefty capacitor straight across the output of the power supply. So when I first connected it, there would be quite a big lump of current goes through went through the LED till the capacitor discharged and the current limit kicked in, and that's blown the LED. So I put a resistor in series thereafter and used the voltage to control the current going through, and it's been fine. So there's just a little heads up for that. So that's it for this video. So it's goodbye for now from Triplicate. Goodbye.